So if you struggle with iron contact, fat and thin and inconsistent, this needs to happen. Your club needs to hit the ground past the golf ball. In this video, we're going to show you what that looks like, how golfers get it wrong, and how you can control this without overcomplicating your golf swing.
So you know that the better ball strikers, they're getting this divot after the golf ball. They're hitting ball followed by turf. That's going to allow us to have this low point after the golf ball. So we're talking about now the lowest point of that arc being after the golf ball. Now, there's a few things that need to happen in order to do that, but one thing we do to start with is actually test golfers. We actually put the ball on a line or have some T-pegs like this, and we're looking to see if you can hit the ball, maybe clip a bit of the line, but definitely getting that divot starting after the golf ball. But unfortunately, it doesn't always go that well. We oftentimes see golfers hit that divot, start before the golf ball, then we know there's a problem.
And often it's quite inconsistent as well. What we want is we want this consistent divot. We want the club hitting the ground consistently past the golf ball. So let's show you how to do that and where you might be going wrong. So let's just go straight into impact, Piers, because the most important part is when we strike the golf ball. How are the best players and the best ball strikers getting to impact? What are they doing different to anyone else?
So the first thing we want to do is get an impact line up. There's that vertical line from the outside of the ankle. What we'll see the best players do as they go into their backswing is somewhat more centered for an iron than it perhaps is for a driver. So more of a centered pivot potentially. And then from there, we'll very much see them that left hip will shift towards a target, maybe some 4 to 5 inches of shift towards a target. The shoulder and upper body is following just behind that, but we'll often find by the time this lead arm here is parallel to the ground, that they're up on that impact line already. And then it's just a question of continuing to let their arms drop and their body turn. And before you know it, we've got forward shaft lean, we've got the ball, followed by the turf, low point after the golf ball. Everything is made.
This is key to getting that low point past the golf ball. Now take a look at that compared to a recent student of mine, Devon, and this is what we see a lot of. Golfers are just back of that impact line in the downswing. Devon was way back when his lead arm was parallel, and take him all the way to impact, he was nowhere near that impact line. So if we can get moving this way and get that body moving towards the target, it's going to make it so easy for you to hit here instead of actually obviously hitting the ground first.
And
here.
I think the important thing to understand is you can hit good shots like Devon. Devon could hit good golf shots, but it doesn't mean he's going to get pure ball striking. He's probably going to be a clipper of the golf ball, hitting divots. If you hit divots and they're bad, and sometimes when you just clip the grass, they're good, that's everything you need to know. You're probably short of the impact line.
And we've got a couple of great drills that'll help you do this, but before we do on that, show us how golfers can get this wrong, Piers, in terms of shifting weight.
So much data and information now knowing that, yes, you've got to shift your low body, your hips 4 to 5 inches towards a target, but unfortunately, we see this happen a lot. We see a big shift from the lower body, but the upper body hangs back. Left shoulder goes up very early, spine angle is tilted behind, and my shoulder and upper body is nowhere near the impact line, and as Andy just alluded to, I'm probably going to hit it there. So we need to make sure, as I said, think of this, shift with the lower body, with the upper body just closely behind it. So drills, I mean, you said we got a couple, we've probably got about 50 drills that we can do here. So let's just give you a couple that are really good. The first one I really like is actually the drill we did for Devon. So Devon, we get him to address the golf ball as normal, and then we get a golf ball here and we would tee it forward. It's well forward of the other normal ball position, but it's probably around about a grip length. So from there, move that golf ball out, still address where you would normally be. Now, what does this do? It gives us permission to move towards the target. If you're someone like Devon who hits off the back foot, you've got no reason to move forward. And oftentimes, by the way, we'll see golfers put the ball back in their stance to allow for the fact they don't shift. But the problem with that is putting it back is stopping you from shifting as well. So ball forward, this just now gives us full license to go, right, I need to move the lower body, the upper body, and even I need to extend my arms as I'm moving through.
You can see this is all the way almost driver position here.
Probably past it, actually.
It's going to be hard to hit turf past the golf ball here, but it's going to give you the sensation of what it's like to shift. If you can make contact with the ball and the tee at this point, you've done really well. But the purpose of this is to give you a feeling of going, what does it feel like to move this way, like the best ball strikers, and then you can take that back to a normal ball position.
When you hit this, this is going to go high and left. High and left is what's going to happen if you can get a good contact. You'll probably thin the first couple, top a few maybe. But if we think about it, where would my low point be now relative to where I'm actually originally addressing? So we'd like to think that it's going to be past the golf ball. So let's actually hit this one. It's going to go high and left. I feel like I want to aim more right to allow for a good one. Oh, really got forward on that one. But again, I would absolutely take that. We can see that I've got forward easily to that impact line. That's actually a nice one.
Just making contact with that is the goal there. Like if he was to hang back at all, he's going to miss that golf ball. So it's a great way to force you to do the right movement. Okay, let's go to another one. We call this one the body strike.
Yeah.
This is to ensure that you can get the lower body and the upper body working at the right time.
Body strike, rubbish name. Please put down in the comments a better name for this drill. So what we're going to do is get the golf club across the shoulders like so. It always works better if you've actually got the leading edge going vertically upwards, the same as your spine. And then from there, I'm going to go into my setup. Normal sort of short iron setup here, and then from there back swing, again centered pivot. I'm now going to get my shift with the low body, upper body is following the low body closely, and then I rotate down on the golf ball, and I'm using my peripheral vision, almost trying to line up a square club face to that golf ball. And then when I actually think about where I am, everything is in my left side. My lower body, my upper body, is all stacked really well on that impact line, and I've got a ton of rotation as well.
I think the important thing when we do this as well is this isn't where we need to be at impact. It is in terms of where the weight is. We don't need to be as open as this with the shoulders, but it's going to give you the sensation of what it's like to move and get the upper body stacked on top of the lower body as well.
I think this is a great drill for the golfer who is maybe more of a shifter but doesn't actually rotate, and they get stuck in here. So this one kind of works really well for someone who needs to get a bit of rotation put into it. Again, same sensation. I'll always just move into a shot straight after this, and I'll feel, yes, I am shifting, but I'm getting that right side almost covering. Heard Justin Rose say that once, and I kind of like the sound of it. And as we can see, if I was to do my little test here on the line, I'd be pretty happy with that one. Kind of clipped a little bit of the line, but we can see the lowest point. The lowest point is absolutely going to be around about there.
So let's talk about the third and final key then to getting that low point past the golf ball. Let's talk shaft lean now. Also, if this is helpful, subscribe to this channel. We create videos every single week to help your game, and just leave us any questions down below. Okay, Piers. Shaft lean, what is it? How does it help?
The final piece of the puzzle, I suppose. So I've actually got our face magnet on here to kind of help us out a little bit, and just obviously give you an idea why it's so important as well. We know it's going to help us get ball turf contact, but what else can it give us? So if we think of this, what we'll actually do to a golfer when we film their golf swing is we'll obviously get the video and we'll draw a line at setup of the shaft of the golf club. So you'll often find the shaft will be leant forward somewhat, just a little bit. Now what we're looking for at impact obviously is, of course, we're looking for a shift and a rotation of the body, but we're also looking for that shaft to advance forward of that. So you can see the handle has moved forward. That means the shaft has been leant forward more. And if you look at the loft on my 9-iron, it's getting de-lofted. So that's the whole beauty of this, is not only do we get more ball speed because we hit the ball first and not the ground first, we also get more ball speed because we've got a flatter face. So we've got a faster face. If you're someone who picks it, you'll find that it'll be a little bit floaty on its flight as opposed to penetrating and compressing. So everything we're trying to do now from here with the shaft lean is going to give us that compression.
So what are the things that holds golfers back and cause the shaft to be leaning, let's say, somewhat back for some golfers?
Yeah, so there's three main things we really need to look at. Now, the first one we've kind of covered. You could have good shaft lean, but if you're on your back foot, then it's not relative to the ball, it's not very good. So that's the kind of the first one. The second one is we see this move called an early release, which is when we get the angles between the shaft and the forearm, casting, you may have heard it called that, where it's scooping, where we're just throwing the club head down early. So the club head goes down early, we lose that angle, and then when we get down to the golf ball, even if we have a good shift towards the target, you can see we don't get good shaft lean. Now, what I will say with this can be a strength thing, it can be a sequencing thing, but it could be the fact that your club face is getting opened out too much somewhere in your golf swing. So if you've been struggling with that for a while, scooping, early releasing, make sure you check the club face throughout your swing. And then the other one we see, again, this is more along sequencing. We don't go too much into this one, but ultimately when a golfer gets very narrow at the top here, they then start their downswing more by widening out the hands, getting them away from the head, widening out the arm, and then that's, again, as you can see, throwing the club down out of sequence. And again, we've got too much loft on it.
So it's safe to say that to help us create the shaft lean and also help us shift it, it's good to have a nice club face, a club face that's somewhat close to, let's say, matching the lead arm, and some width in the backswing here. You can see Piers hasn't got a really super long golf swing, and he's got some width in both arms. This makes it a bit easier to shift, but also hold on to some of those angles for a little bit longer in the downswing as well.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're after when we get that. So look, again, We can give you a drill, which is obviously really helpful. In this one, we call this one a short swing lag, which is basically, if we think of someone like a Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm has obviously got a very short backswing, but again, in order for him to get power, he's got to move his body incredibly well, which kind of helps the shaft fall back like that, creating that shaft lean. Now, it might be a short swing, but it's very efficient when it comes to power. So what we like golfers to do with this is to swing back, kind of like halfway back around this area here, making sure that the wrist is relatively flat and the club face is nice and strong. And then from there, it's kind of like hitting it almost as hard as you can with your body unwinding out to the target. Andy's doing the right thing in stepping back over there, because you can get some funny results when you get this to start with, but ultimately it's going to give your body an excuse to move quickly and aggressively, and hopefully we can get that shaft lent forward. So the first iteration of this really is just swing back, pause, and then go. So let's see what happens when we get one of those. So short backswing, make sure everything's good that I want, and then from there, move it going through. A little bit thin there, but I can guarantee you the shaft was lent forward on that one.
You don't have any trouble with leaning that shaft forward?
I don't even know I was trying to think about doing it.
The great thing about pausing is and you'll see this when you do it, it really engages that lower body, and I guarantee your shaft angle will be lent forward, providing the face is good. Get that face good.
And one thing that we haven't actually said yet as well, and we have to be really careful of this, is so many golfers, when they're having those practice swings trying to lean that shaft forward, leave the face open. So a real pro tip for you on this one is do a video of yourself doing a practice swing when you're trying to lean the shaft forward, and make sure the club face is square. We see so many golfers, we've got thousands of videos of golfers doing practice swings with the face wide open. That's not going to help you get better. Okay, so on this one now, there'll be no pause on this one. This is just that short swing lag feeling. And there's the ball going in about head height. Could go in, but again, it's hard to tell because I hit it from the same place. But I would look at that there, and I would say my divot probably started about here, and the low point is all the way over here. That's a good 6 inches almost after the golf ball. That is late.
Now, those are the keys to help you hit the ground past the golf ball. So we hope that helps. If you are like any of the students who come to us, a lot of them are guessing on what to work on. They're a little confused and they've got so many different thoughts about their golf swing. We've created a coaching plan for every single part of your game. So instead of guessing and getting lost in lots of different videos, check out our coaching plan page down below in the description and find one for you. I guarantee it'll help. Thanks again, and we'll see you again soon.